This is News 8 Now this morning.
It's about our children. It's about the message that we're sending. I don't care about making money. I don't care about taxes and bringing in more income. I care about our kids. I care about the future. I care about people's health and well-being.
We're going to continue to serve students, stand for students, because that's what our community here in Eau Claire is for. It's for students, it's for families, and it's for bringing them together and being the bridge to help our kids live their best lives.
It's about building good citizens of our Cashton community, and it helps them to know that they can help other people, not just the people that are within our school.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for watching News 8 Now. I'm Dua Srar.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is March 1st, 2023.
Happy March, and welcome back.
Just couldn't stay away.
I know, you just couldn't stay away, could you?
I enjoyed waking up so early that I was like, you know what, let me just come in anyway.
Let me just come back and just, yeah, do it all over again. Well, hey, you ready for some snow?
Okay.
Not for lacrosse, though. That's the good thing.
That's nice to hear. Thank you for giving me good news on my day back, Derek.
Yeah, we have to watch out for our northern counties, though. They are waking up to some snow, moving in across their locations. Let's get right to it. And, you know, we are tracking that. Oh, wow, something just fell off. There it goes. So everything is falling apart this morning, and I feel like it's just all Dua's fault. What can I tell you?
Wow, that is
let's go ahead and take a look here. From our satellite and radar, and you can see behind me we are watching some snow showers that are beginning to track across portions of our northern counties, and this is mainly focused here to our west. And let's go ahead and take that, and you can see right around the Twin Cities area that band of snow that continues to move in from the west. We'll keep our eyes on that here over the next couple of hours. Now, we do have these winter weather advisories in effect until 10, with the exception of Rusk County. This goes until 6. Additional snowfall is expected in these spots, and impacts to the morning commute also likely. So as we take a look at your planner, we're going to be looking at those cloudy skies continuing for most spots. Temperatures well into the 30s and 40s. Watching out for some rain, snow showers here late morning here. The rest of us, again, mainly cloudy with highs into the upper 30s to low 40s throughout the day. So we'll keep our eyes on this, and plus we'll talk about your full weather forecast coming up in just a bit. Dua?
Thanks, Derek. I'll try not to break anything else while I'm here. Well, let's get to some news this morning. A developing story out of Monroe County. Vernon County attorneys have confirmed with News 8 Now that Chief Deputy Nathan Campbell has been on administrative leave since January 20th. Details related to why Campbell was placed on leave were denied because the requested records, they could be used at a trial. The Vernon County Sheriff declined to comment, saying it is his personal policy to not comment on personnel matters. Community members from Houston County spoke at a public hearing Tuesday night about a potential ban on THC products. The county's Board of Commissioners are considering a one-year pause on THC-related sales. The board says the pause will give the county officials time to study licensing, rules, and management of the sales. Many of the people who spoke at the podium were against the ban, saying it will leave local businesses who are invested in the cannabis industry with a loss of income. A Houston County veteran spoke about the importance of having these products nearby, saying he's lost fellow veterans to prescribed medicine.
It's easier to get to. I know a lot of veterans have trouble just getting anywhere. So having it close by will directly save the lives of veterans in this county.
Support for the ban, the principal of Caledonia Elementary School spoke at the podium to say she's speaking for parents who don't want these products in their community. She says these products create, quote, social problems.
It's about our children. It's about the message that we're sending. I don't care about making money. I don't care about taxes and bringing in more income. I care about our kids. I care about the future. I care about people's health and well-being.
Link also says if people are using THC products for pain, then perhaps the sales of THC should be left to medical companies. The Board of Commissioners say they're going to review this public comment along with other studies and make a decision about the ban in a couple of weeks. A lawsuit against the Eau Claire School District has been dismissed. In September, the Parents Protecting Our Children group filed a case saying a school guidance on gender identity breached parents' constitutional rights. The lawsuit targeted the district, school board members, and the superintendent. A district representative said Tuesday that the lawsuit was dismissed on February 21st because the group did not have a, quote, protectable interest in the matter, unquote. The Board of Education president says the guidance is not going away.
We're going to continue to serve students, stand for students, because that's what our community here in Eau Claire is for. It's for students, it's for families, and it's for bringing them together and being the bridge to help our kids live their best lives.
The school district's policy allows staff members to set up meetings with transgender students to create a student gender support plan. The policy also says that school staff are told to speak with the student before discussing those students' gender with a parent or guardian. The Sparta Area School District has sold the Cataract Elementary School building to Cataract Essential Services. The property sold for $10,000. The nonprofit plans to turn the building into a community center and possibly house a food pantry, library, and rental space. The decision to close the school happened last April after residents voted against a referendum that would have helped keep the school open. Governor Tony Evers' proposed budget includes some money for UW-La Crosse. Evers is calling for $3.8 billion to go towards building projects across the state. Nearly half of that money would go to the UW system. Here in La Crosse, that includes work on the Prairie Springs Science Center and the demolition of Cogley Hall. Money would also help build a new Center for the Arts, parking ramp, and add on to the Police Services building. Funds would also help renovate classroom spaces on campus. Area kids celebrated their love for reading. Kids from all over the La Crosse School District tested out their book smarts at UW-La Crosse's Battle of the Books competition on Tuesday. This competition gave students in elementary and middle school a chance to share how well they know young adult literature. Organizers say it's a great way to translate a love of reading into a love of education.
It gives students an opportunity to rejoice in their love of literature and reading, and so that helps propel them in their studies.
Kids were tested on their knowledge from a list of books they've had since this fall. About 120 kids took part this year. Cashton Elementary students are having a domino effect on their community. A 4th grade class encouraged everyone at the school to donate boxes of cereal so they could build a giant line of dominoes. The boxes spell out Eagle, the school's mascot, and of course, the whole school gathered to watch them get knocked down. All of the cereal will be donated to 3 area food pantries. The school's principal said these kind of activities help teach important lessons to the kids.
It's about building good citizens of our Cashton community, and it helps them to know that they can help other people, not just the people that are within our school.
This was the first cereal box domino challenge the school has ever done, and the principal hopes it can grow even bigger next year. Well, as Black History Month comes to a close, students at the La Crosse Polytechnic School are opening their minds to create some Black history-inspired displays. Groups of students decorated almost 20 doors throughout the school. They all fell under one theme: Black excellence.
If they are interested in art, look at Black artists throughout history. If you're interested in representation or dissing, look at representation in movies. So we have a Black Panther door, a Princess and the Frog door. We even have some doors on Black excellence in La Crosse. So it was student driven last year, and then we resurrected it this year and added more resources for them and opportunities to find what they're interested in and learn more about Black history.
It took the groups about 2 hours to put the displays together. One student said she liked the opportunity to try hands-on learning.
It gets your body moving, your mind being active, so you're moving around, you're learning about this stuff while being active, and it's very educational.
Advisors said the smiles on students' faces when they pass by the doors says it all. Well, still ahead on your morning news, the improvements USPS is making to their delivery fleet to deliver your packages We'll explain that and what La Crosse County employees are doing to help make food less expensive. That and more is coming up this morning. But for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. The company Heinz says it's finally made contact with the so-called ketchup boat guy, Dominica sailor Elvis Francois. Francois survived weeks at sea with a little help with a little more than ketchup to help him. Oh my goodness. Once he was back on dry land, Heinz wanted to give him a new boat, but the company struggled to find him. The company said the search covered 6 continents and thousands of messages, but finally ended in success. Heinz plans to buy Francois a new state-of-the-art boat. I genuinely don't know how someone could survive on just ketchup. Oh my gosh. Well, don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. We're tracking some snow showers, as you can see, mainly to our west that continue to move into our general direction, but these are mainly going to be affecting our northern counties here later this morning. The rest of us are just looking mainly cloudy today with temperatures well into the 40s, 44 degrees for you in West Salem. Highs reach 47 in Lansing today and 45 today if you're in Stoddard. Now, meanwhile, across our central zones, we're looking at 44 today in La Crosse, 41 in Arcadia, and 40 today if you're in Blair. Across our northern counties around the Chippewa Valley area, we're looking at highs into the mid-30s with 36 here for you in Eau Claire. Now, for your dog walking conditions, it's going to look pretty cloudy here for most of us this morning. Again, watch out for some of that rain, snow to the north. Mostly cloudy this afternoon, and also for the most part as we head into the evening hours as well. Bus stop forecast here for you this morning, 35 degrees with cloudy skies here for a lot of us. And then as we head into the afternoon on the way back, we should be looking at 44 degrees under those mainly cloudy weather conditions that will continue. We'll talk about this plus much more coming up in the full weather forecast in just a few minutes.
In our consumer news this morning, the United States Postal Service says it's charging up its plans to modernize their fleet of vehicles. The USPS has announced its new contracts with Ford to buy more than 9,200 commercial electric vehicles. The Postal Service says this is the first action to replace all of its gas-powered vehicles with electric. The USPS also plans to purchase 14,000 new electric charging stations. Identity theft remains as one of the most reported consumer crimes in Wisconsin. That's according to the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection. Tomorrow, the Wisconsin Bureau of Consumer Protection partners up with La Crosse County Library to teach consumers on how to recognize theft and how to prevent it. Those who attend will receive tips on how to protect personal information and how to recover their identity when stolen. No registration is required to attend the program. Well, starting today, you can help your neighbors with the 2 million pound food drive. Maurice and the Salvation Army are hoping to collect 2 million pounds of non-perishable food items during the month of March to help families in need of extra resources. All of the food collected will help assist the community as needed. You can help by dropping off food items at the Salvation Army at different locations in La Crosse, Onalaska, Sparta, and Tomah. We have the full list of those locations at news8000.com. Well, for the past 3 years, 30 million Americans have received at least an additional $95 in food benefits. Those benefits ended today. I spoke to a La Crosse County employee who says there's help for those who can't afford their groceries.
These days, every dollar matters, especially on a trip to the grocery store. Roughly 11,000 La Crosse County families are enrolled in the federal food share program. Their budgets are stretched thin.
Certainly we've heard, concerns about the loss of the benefits.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, 30 million Americans saw an increase in their Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits. But after nearly 3 years, those benefits are ending.
Some people may not realize until they go to the grocery store and realize that additional amount isn't available in March.
Starting March 1st, families nationwide will lose at least $95 a month in food assistance.
The loss of those benefits is going to be significant for our customers as well as the economy.
That's why members of La Crosse County Health Department are encouraging residents to plan ahead.
If we can help families to feed their children and themselves, that is really what we want to do.
Some families can apply for additional help through WIC.
The WIC program focuses more on young families, pregnant women, and children to the age of 5.
People who don't qualify for WIC are encouraged to head to food pantries.
People could also call 211, and that would be a quick, easy way to find out about locations and times of other food pantries.
As inflation continues to affect the cost of produce, experts say the loss of extra benefits will make it harder for families to get by.
They're going to see it in their budget in a lot of different areas.
Reporting in La Crosse, Dua Esrar, News 8 Now.
Great reporting, Dua. The La Crosse County Health Department says people should check their benefits and budget before they head to the grocery store. The county is also encouraging other community members to make a donation to their local food pantry if they can. Well, that's it for your consumer news. Let's check in with Derek and get today's pretty gloomy forecast.
Yeah, that's right, Dua. Thanks for that. It sure is a pretty gloomy forecast out there right now in La Crosse. We're starting to see the sunrise come up just a little bit, and you can see there behind me from City Cam 8. Off to a very cloudy start now in La Crosse. Temperatures at 35 degrees. We have visibilities, though, coming in nice at around 10 miles. So good driving conditions here for the La Crosse area. Winds are looking calm. Current conditions to the north in Eau Claire, 33 degrees with a feel like, though, of 27 degrees when you factor in those current wind chills. So as of right now, most locations are looking cloudy, but over the last few hours, we have noticed this line of snow here move in from the west, and you can see it's really affecting the Twin Cities. They're getting some heavy snow right now. Some of this is trying to mix here on the Wisconsin and Minnesota border. Here is the eastern flank of that southern line of snow moving in now into Wabasha County and just west of Pepin County here too. This is also approaching Dunn County. Even a little bit of some flurries here just out ahead of the main snow line that's continuing to move in from the west associated with the storm system that we're also tracking, and this system is moving in our general direction. It has prompted winter storm, or not winter storm, but winter weather advisories that is here for Dunn County and also into Chippewa County. Rusk County, this will expire for you at 6 p.m. while the rest of us are under this advisory to the north until 10 a.m. That's because additional snowfall is expected here, which will impact the morning commute. So just be aware of that here as you get ready to head out the door. 35 degrees, cloudy skies at 7, 42 mostly cloudy skies at noon today. By 4, still mainly cloudy, 41 degrees, and by 8, still looking mainly cloudy for the majority of us, 36 degrees. So we'll time it out here on Sky Tracker. You'll see that line moving in, and then by 8 o'clock it starts to affect portions of the western parts of the viewing area, such as Wabasha up towards Dunn County, and then it continues to move east and still affect portions of the northern sides of the viewing area by the early afternoon hours. And then by 3 o'clock, all that snow will continue to remain up towards the north. By 6 o'clock, we can say more of the same. So it's really not until later this evening where we start to see this begin to taper, as the majority of the snow will then begin to exit the area. But some parts like Clark County could still be dealing with some snow. Everybody's done with this, though, by around midnight tonight. Even though most of us down south, including the La Crosse area, is not going to see anything. We're just looking at mainly cloudy skies. The cloud cover will continue through early tomorrow morning. We start to see the clouds begin to taper off here a little bit. Some dry air kind of moves in here, and then by late tomorrow afternoon, we start to see the majority of the clouds exit the area, so we may be seeing a little bit of some peaks of sun later in the day tomorrow. Anywhere between around that 2 to 4 inch mark of snow is possible across our northern counties through the day today with the system. Here's a check on your 8-day forecast, and we'll be looking at highs into the upper 30s, low 40s, with cloudy skies through Saturday, chance rain, snow on Sunday. Maybe some showers here on Monday from our next system moving in here. We'll keep our eyes on that. All right, stay with us. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. We're taking a quick break with a look what happened on this day in history for March 1st. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Blitz. It's playoff time. The girls started last week. Now it's the boys' turn to tip off high school playoff hoops. We're going to start the show in Division II with 2 MVC rivals going head-to-head. Let's go to Logan High School. 7-seeded Rangers hosting number 10, rival Sparta, and the Spartans playing inspired early. Layden Bender on fire, the senior pulling up from everywhere. 3 in the corners, money. And how about the left wing? Same result. Bender red hot early. Spartans jump ahead by 8. but the Rangers respond. Other end, Cam Cruz in the corner. He's going to knock down the three, and the red-hot shooting continues for Logan. Scotty Grossbach wide open. He connects on the triple. Then it's Eli Stovall joining the party. The senior buries the three. Stovall says it's Eli time. Rangers jump ahead. Spartans staying in it, though. Grant Geyer, strong baseline drive for two, but it's the home team that's moving on. Later in the half, off the steal, Nick Jolly straight to the cup for the lay-in. Rangers pull away in the second half. They get the win 78-60. They'll head to Onalaska on Friday night. Now over to Tomah, where the Timberwolves squared off against Hayward. First half, Nathan Harrison spots up the corner three. That's good. Hurricanes draw first blood. Timberwolves strike back, though. Aiden Brock gets fouled, throws up the shot, goes down. That would put Tomah up 7. Then it's Tom Hesse's turn. He gets through the lane easily, lays in the finger roll. Good back and forth early on. Hurricanes battle back. Lucas Hansen connects from deep, but on the very next possession, Hesse is going to pull up from deep. You bet. Timberwolves go on to win it 58-43. Tomah will play rival Central on Friday night. In Division III, GET hosting Altoona in a fun one. First half, Altoona looking to pull away. Connor Lewis cutting along the baseline, throws down a two-handed jam. Railroaders go up by 10. GET looking to cut into it. Cody Schmitz cuts in the lane, fouled as it connects for the tough bucket. Old-fashioned three-point play. Redhawks down 5. A little more than 2 minutes to go. Schmitz comes up with the steal. Big man, big moment, big dunk. We're all tied, forcing overtime. Fans loving it in OT. Mason Brown gets an open look from the wing. The freshman coming up huge. Home team goes up by 3. Redhawks seal the victory at the line. They get the win, 66-61. Staying in D3, Arcadia hosting Mauston. First half, Arcadia's Devin Byers zips the ball to Maverick Draskowski in the lane. The junior lays it in for 2. But Mauston brought the offense with them in the corner. Kyle Dahl, good for 3. This fires up the Golden Eagles as they lead by 10. Mauston goes on to get the win, 73-67. To Division 4 we go. Aquinas at home playing host to Westby. This one all blue golds from the jump. Second half, Aquinas still pouring it on. Andrew Sutton straight to the hole for 2. Then later in the half, Tanner Peterson left wide open for 3. He splashes at home. Blue golds up big. And then turning defense into offense. Off the steal, Walter Burns fighting his way through traffic. The junior's going to take it all the way to the cup for 2 more. All Aquinas last night at home, 77-27. Blue Golds head to Bangor for a date with the Cardinals on Friday. Staying in D4, let's go to Cashton. Eagles playing host to Boscobel. Pick this one up in the first half. 6'6" beast Zach Milsna going to score the first 2 points for the Eagles with that layup. Then later in the half, Dylan Johnson pulling up for 3. This would be the only time the Bulldogs led the entire night. Back to the other end, still first half, Connor Butzler puts up a shot, counted for 3. Eagles rolling. Then it's Butzler sending a long pass, gets deflected, but Brady Hemmersbach, right place, right time. Cashton adds 2 more. Then off the inbounds pass, Butzler again from downtown. You bet. Eagles soar into the next round. They win it 75-41. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
A train carrying hundreds of passengers has run into an oncoming freight train in northern Greece, killing at least 36 people and injuring at least 85. Officials say multiple train cars derailed and at least 3 caught fire after the crash late Tuesday. In your medical news this morning, if you have a fever and a cough, you may not have to see a healthcare provider to find out if it's the flu or COVID-19. The U.S. Food and Administration has approved a new at-home test that identifies either illness. Mandy Gaither has the story.
For what the FDA says is the first time ever, the green light was given to an at-home self-collected nasal swab test that can determine if you're suffering from COVID-19 or the flu in about half an hour.
You can purchase this test over the counter, where during the flu season, you have these upper respiratory systems. You don't know if it's COVID, if you don't know it's the flu. This is a great way for a person to be able to tell.
The test is able to identify a negative result for influenza A with more than 99% accuracy and a positive result with more than 90% accuracy. It's 100% accurate for negative COVID-19 samples and more than 88% accurate for positive results. There weren't enough influenza B cases for the company to do real-world testing for that strain, but in lab studies, it caught nearly 100% of negative cases.
If you have this test and you're able to say, okay, this is flu, then you can get appropriate treatment for flu, or you can help to prevent the spread of flu. As opposed to if it is COVID, you can get appropriate treatment for COVID and go into quarantine or isolation.
The company's CEO told USA Today that a U.S. price tag and release date will be announced at a later date. People who have flu or COVID-like symptoms but test negative may have a different respiratory infection and should get follow-up care.
The test is FDA authorized for anyone 14 and older for self-collection, or an adult can give it to a child who is 2 and older. To combat heart attacks, a new study shows stem cell therapy can reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke in severe health failure patients. The procedure involves using a catheter to inject adult stem cells from bone marrow into an inflamed heart. The study shows one treatment can reduce the long-term risk of heart attack or stroke by 58%. Minnesota management and budget officials have announced that the state has a $17.5 billion budget surplus, a balance that remains largely unchanged from the November outlook. Caroline Cummings explains what the surplus means for Minnesotans.
You'll hear the word unprecedented and unexpected a lot less today than you have in previous briefings.
Seasons changed, but the surplus largely the same, now projected to be $17.5 billion.
The economy is stable and the budget outlook is very good.
Minnesota Management and Budget Commissioner Jim Showalter ran through the latest forecast projections on Monday. It's a tally of how much the state's bringing in versus how much it's spending. That surplus, though, doesn't tell the full story. State revenues actually did grow over the last couple of months, but a new law the legislature passed requires inflation be baked into the spending projection, which means a $1.4 billion bite out of that number.
This is good news for Minnesotans.
The numbers will shape conversations at the Capitol about where the state should spend those tax dollars over the next 2 years. Ongoing revenues plus one-time surplus money means $72 billion are at play.
This year, we have an opportunity to address 2 decades of underfunding in people and communities, and most particularly in education.
DFLers in the majority praise what the forecast means for their priorities, but vow responsible budgeting. Meanwhile, Republicans say the surplus is a sign that Minnesota is overtaxing its residents. They're rolling out a tax relief plan Tuesday, though passing it will face hurdles with Democrats in control.
If we can give money back to Minnesotans in ways that really improve and affect their lives, that's what Republicans are after.
Back in Wisconsin, DNR officials say they'll release public comments on their draft of the wolf plan eventually. The agency released the first new wolf plan in 25 years back in November and have been taking public comment. This plan recommends the DNR work with local committees on wolf populations. A spokesperson from the DNR says they received about 4,000 comments and that they need time to put them in an easy, available online format. Cities across Wisconsin are trying to figure out on how to stop reckless driving. State legislators are pushing to make it easier for communities to stop offenders. Reporter Will Keneally explains that support from new rules came from both sides of the aisle.
The message that I'm hoping this legislation can send is, yes, the leaders, the elected leaders of the state of Wisconsin deem this problem this important.
It affects many communities in Wisconsin. Madison has its Vision Zero initiative for 0 deaths on city roads, but it was Milwaukee legislators pushing the urgency.
We've got public comments from individuals responsible for this crazy behavior, this dangerous, reckless behavior, and they feel nothing is going to be done to them.
What this bill would do, it doubles the fines for those caught reckless driving. Right now, it's $25 to $200, and it would be increased from $50 to $400. Also, stronger penalties for second offense reckless driving. The bill had bipartisan support last time it was introduced. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson backed it today.
This bipartisan effort to work to make sure that we at the local level in Milwaukee and communities around the state are in a position to be able to address the issue of reckless driving.
The bill was left on the table last session. The authors are expecting it to be taken up again this year. This was also paired with another crime bill, creating a mandatory 5-year prison sentence for felons convicted of possessing a firearm.
These actions make our communities less safe and create an atmosphere in which people do not feel safe.
This is part of the first series of crime bills and the legislature is taking up early in the session.
Well, overall, we are waking up to a pretty quiet start here. We're looking at 35 degrees with cloudy skies here. Winds are also looking nice and calm as well. Current condition, or the rest of our conditions will be looking mainly cloudy through around 8 o'clock this morning, and then that chance of rain and snow mix here for some spots, especially well to the north. Temperatures into the 30s and especially low 40s by later this afternoon. Highs will reach around 44 today in La Crosse with those cloudy skies. That rain and snow here is possible, especially to the north. West winds at around 10 to 15. For tonight, temperatures drop down to 22 degrees with those cloudy skies and overall pretty seasonable conditions. Northwest winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. So here's what you can expect for that morning commute. Again, mainly cloudy skies. Watch out for that rain, snow to the north. Mostly cloudy here for the mid commute. And then by this evening, skies looking cloudy, dry conditions though overall as that system will continue to exit. So we'll talk more about weather coming up in that full weather forecast after the break. But also coming up in our Buzz Report, a first look at the directional debut of Ray Romano. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, we're off to a very cloudy start right now, as you can see behind me here from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse. Current conditions are at 35 degrees for our air temperature. We are looking at visibilities looking good at around 10 miles, so good driving conditions around the La Crosse area with winds looking nice and calm. Meanwhile, for you folks to the north in Eau Claire, 33 is that current temperature, very close to that freezing mark. Feels like 27 degrees though when you factor in the wind chills. All right, so let's get a check now on the latest satellite and radar picture. Over the last few hours, we've been watching that snow here develop to our west and beginning to push east. And as we go a little bit further towards the west, you can see the majority of the snow is back towards the Twin Cities area, now moving east and affecting now portions of western Wisconsin. And this system continues to move in our general direction and affect portions of our northwestern zones now as we speak. And this is all associated with this low pressure system that we are watching to our west, which is still moving in our general direction off to the east. And this will pivot the snow in our general direction here as well. This is why we do have those winter weather advisories in effect for Dunn County as well as into Chippewa County and also into Rusk County. But for you folks in Rusk County, this will expire a little bit later at around 6 p.m. while the rest of us will be under this advisory until 10 o'clock this morning. And that's because we're looking at snowfall accumulations here along with impacts to that morning commute. So just be aware of that here as you get ready to head out the door this morning. Now the rest of us are just going to be looking at mainly cloudy skies because the majority of that snow will be mainly focused well to the north of us. Temperatures in the 40s here this afternoon, then we drop into the 30s again as we head into this evening. So we'll track that line of snow here off to the west of us, beginning to push east by around 8 o'clock, affecting our western counties there. And then as we head towards the 11 o'clock hour, still affecting portions of the viewing area, especially up towards the north later this morning. And then as we time this out to 3 o'clock this afternoon, still some scattered snow showers across our northern zones there. As we take you into early this evening, still looking at some snow showers, still affecting portions of the News 8 Now viewing area well to the north though. And as we head into late this evening into early tonight, still some leftover snow affecting portions of the northern zones around Clark County, and then finally coming to a close here for everybody as we head towards overnight tonight. Then we're just left over with mainly cloudy skies as we take you through tomorrow morning. Around 5 a.m. morning commute looking a little cool and cloudy there, and then we start to see the clouds decrease late tomorrow morning, and then even further as we head towards 6. In fact, we could see some peaks of some blue sky perhaps depending on how much clearing that we actually ultimately do get. Anywhere between around that 2 to 4 inch mark is possible across portions of our northern communities today as that snow moves through here today. Everywhere else, just looking at really no snow, maybe a trace or so around the Eau Claire area, but that's about it. So as we take a look at your 8-day forecast, we're going to be looking at those mainly cloudy skies through Saturday, highs into the upper 30s, low 40s. Our next system will bring us our next best chance of rain, snow on Sunday, and also maybe some showers on Monday.
Oh, that's not good.
Actually, yes it is, because Paramount has released a look at some of the creatures featured in Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. From an owlbear to a mimic to a displacer beast and a group of intellect devourers, the movie looks to be filled with enough monsters to fill a manual. The adventure begins March 31st.
He found it, just like he found all of us. It's like he found me. Peter Pan?
Were you expecting someone else?
Disney gives us a preview of its newest live-action version of Peter Pan and Wendy, but the movie has made some big changes from the original. For one, the group of Lost Boys is now the Lost Girls, and for the first time, Disney has chosen a black woman to portray Tinkerbell on screen. Blackish star Yara Shahidi will play Tinkerbell and Jude Law as Captain Hook. Peter Pan and Wendy will hit Disney Plus on April 28th.
He gets on that team, everything changes for him.
You need to turn down the rah-rah.
Look, I'm excited.
Ray Romano makes his directorial debut in the family dramedy Somewhere in Queens, about an Italian-American family and a potentially different future for an only child away from the family business. The film arrives in theaters April 21st. Well, Derek, how do you feel about this new Peter Pan?
It looks interesting to me. I mean, I always like the new remakes when it comes to that, so.
We've had this conversation before about like live action movies and kind of what they mean for a younger generation.
It's a little unique.
Yeah, I feel like we're seeing a lot more of them now. I definitely feel like that adding like a live action movie is now more common than it used to be back then.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, before we head to break, it's time for today's Look Who's 8.
Well, happy 8th birthday to Hazel. Hazel loves the outdoors and enjoys camping and horseback riding.
Happy 8th birthday to Abigail. Abigail loves to create art and also loves the outdoors.
Happy 88th birthday to Eileen. Eileen walks at least 2 miles a day, something that I need to do more, right? And can still swing an axe to chop wood. Very impressive. Happy birthday to you.
We can all take a lesson from Eileen.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, if you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
Just upload their photos to our website, news8000.com, and look for that Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now is up next. Time for your morning news now. A lawsuit against the Eau Claire School District has been dismissed. In September, the Parents Protecting Our Children group filed a case saying a school guidance on gender identity breached parents' constitutional rights. The lawsuit targeted the district, school board members, and the superintendent. A district representative said Tuesday that the lawsuit was dismissed on February 21st because the group did not have a, quote, protectable interest in the matter, unquote. The Board of Education president says the guidance is not going away.
We're going to continue to serve students, stand for students, because that's what our community here in Eau Claire is for. It's for students, it's for families, and it's for bringing them together and being the bridge to help our kids live their best lives.
The school district's policy allows staff members to set up meetings with transgender students to create a student gender support plan. The policy also says that school staff are told to speak with the student before discussing those students' gender with a parent or guardian. Starting today, you can help your neighbors with the 2 million pound food drive. Maury's and the Salvation Army are hoping to collect 2 million pounds of non-perishable food items during the month of March to help families in extra need of resources. All of the food collected will help assist the community as needed, and you can help by dropping off food items at the Salvation Army in different locations such as La Crosse, Onalaska, Sparta, and Toma. We have the full list of those locations at news8000.com. The Sparta Area School District has sold the Cataract Elementary School building to Cataract Essential Services. The property sold for $10,000. The nonprofit plans to turn the building into a community center and possibly a food pantry, library, and rental space. The decision to close the school happened last April after residents voted against a referendum that would have helped keep the school open. Governor Tony Evers' proposed budget includes some money for UW La Crosse. Evers is calling for $3.8 billion to go towards building projects across the state. Nearly half of that money would go to the UW system here in La Crosse. That includes work on the Prairie Springs Science Center and the demolition of Cowley Hall. Money would also help build a new center for the arts parking ramp and add on to the police services building. Funds would help renovate classroom spaces on campus. Area kids celebrated their love for reading. Kids from all over the La Crosse School District tested out their book smarts at UW La Crosse's Battle of the Books competition on Tuesday. This competition gave students in elementary and middle school a chance to share how well they know young adult literature. Organizers say it's a great way to translate a love of reading into a love of education.
It gives students an opportunity to rejoice in their love of literature and reading, and so that helps propel them in their studies.
Kids were tested on their knowledge from a list of books they've had since this fall. About 120 kids took part this year. And as Black History Month has ended, students at the La Crosse Polytechnic School are opening their minds to create some Black history-inspired displays. Groups of students decorated almost 20 doors throughout the school, and one student said she liked the opportunity to try hands-on learning.
It gets your body moving, your mind being active, so you're moving around, you're learning about this stuff while being active, and it's very educational.
Advisors said the smiles on students' faces when they pass by the doors says it all.
And as you head out the door this morning, our temperatures are in the 30s with those cloudy skies there overhead. We'll be watching out for a chance that rain and snow here, but mainly off to our north. And the further north you go, the colder the precipitation will be here, mainly during those late morning hours. That will continue into the afternoon, but the rest of us really just looking cloudy here. Temperatures into the upper 30s to low 40s. We do have those winter weather advisories in effect for our northern counties. They're highlighted until 10 a.m. except 6 p.m. for Rusk County. Additional snowfall expected there, and impacts to the morning commute are also expected. As we take a look now at your 8-day forecast, we're going to be looking at those mainly cloudy skies through Saturday, highs into the upper 30s, low 40s, watching our next system move through to give us a chance of rain and snow on Sunday, and perhaps even some showers there by early next week on Monday. Otherwise, expect not a whole lot of sunshine, still very cloudy out there. Overall pretty gloomy, but at least high temperatures near that seasonable mark into the upper 30s, low 40s, with lows mainly into the 20s here.
You know, although it is pretty gloomy and lots of cloudy, we are seeing the temperatures increase. So I'm liking the 40s across the board, Derek.
Exactly.
That's nice to see.
Hey, today's the first day of meteorological, I was about to say fall, spring. So we're only going to get warmer from here on out.
Happy meteorological spring.
Yep, there you
well,
go.
don't forget to keep up with News of the Day on news8000.com. We'll have the latest updates on today's top stories at noon. Have a great day, everyone.